Hi, this is King of Review. In this problem, we're asked to find matrix X times matrix Y, and we're given matrix X and matrix Y here. So what is a matrix? A matrix is a rectangular arrangement of numbers in rows and columns. So we have the two matrices here, and we're going to multiply them together. So this is X times Y, so 6, -2, 3, 0. This is matrix X, and we're multiplying it by matrix Y. Matrix Y is 0, -1, -1, and 2. So the product of two matrices is defined as long as the number of columns in the first matrix is equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. So what this means is if we have the dimensions of the first matrix, so row by column, so this is of matrix 1, and we're comparing this to the dimensions of the second matrix, so row by column for the second matrix. So the only way that you can multiply the two matrices together is if the column and row here are equal. So the number of columns in matrix 1 is equal to the number of rows in matrix 2. So you compare these two here. If they're the same number, then it's defined. Defined if equal. And then you know the dimensions of the matrix by looking at these numbers here. So the rows in matrix 1 by the column in matrix 2, this will become your new dimensions. So let's take a look at X times Y. So this is a 2 by 2 because it has 2 rows and 2 columns. And this one is a 2 by 2, 2 rows and 2 columns. So we look at these two numbers here. Yes, they're equal. So that means it is defined if we multiply these two matrices together. So these are equal, and the dimensions of the product will be 2 by 2. So 2 by 2 are the dimensions of the final product. So the first step in multiplying matrices is to figure out if it's defined or not if you multiply them together, and then figure out what the dimensions are. So how do we multiply? So we want to multiply corresponding entries in the first row of X and the first column of Y. We'll figure out what those two products are, and then we'll add them together. And this will become the entry in the column 1, row 1 position. So let's set this up here. So we want to figure out the first entry here. We're setting it up like this. So what we're going to do is multiply 6 times 0, so 6 times 0, and -2 times -1. -2 times -1. So that's how we figure out this first entry. We're multiplying the corresponding entries in the first row of X and the first column of Y, and then we're adding them together. And that's what we did here. So let's continue with this fashion here and set up the next one. So this would be 3 times 0. So 3 times 0 plus 0 times -1. 0 times the -1. So this would be the second entry. And we're going to do the same thing over here for this entry and for the last entry. So this one would be 6 times a -1 plus -2 times 2. And then this entry is 3 times a -1 plus 0 times 2. So this is how you set up the multiplication, and then the last step is to do the math on these. So 6 times 0, that's 0, plus a negative 2 times a negative 1 is 2. Then we have 3 times 0, which is 0, plus 0 times negative 1 is 0. 6 times a negative 1 is negative 6, plus negative 2 times 2, this is a negative 4. And then we have 3 times negative 1, which is negative 3, plus 0 times 2, which is 0. And when we simplify this, it becomes 0 plus 2 is 2, 0 plus 0 is 0, negative 6 plus a negative 4 is negative 10, and negative 3 plus 0 is negative 3. So this is our final answer here, and that's letter D. Thanks for watching.